Yep.
And Mike, I'll be honest, this is the first one. I'm nervous, you're nervous, but we're gonna make it through, man.
Oh, that's right.
We this is the first time that we've ever done anything like this, and
ever.
Yeah. So what about Ash, Oak, and Octane do people really want to hear about? What do you think people want to listen to? Just two guys sitting around drinking and smoking cigars.
Well, I know what I want to hear.
Okay, what is it?
I want to hear good, genuine stories and good, genuine interest in whatever topic really that may be. Now, topic of choice for us clearly going to be Ash, Oak, and Octane, meaning cigars, the oak for the whiskeys, the bourbons, the octane for, obviously our love of vehicles, anything that goes vroom vroom.
That's right.
I don't mind even if I don't like your style of vehicle, I'm not a fan. I enjoy people that are passionate about what they enjoy.
Yeah.
And they want to talk to me about it. All day, absolutely.
And let's not forget oak for barbecue.
Yes.
Those guys use some post oak and good stuff.
Man, absolutely.
Man, that's.
Funny enough, I just did some beef dino ribs.
I saw that. Yeah, that was looking good.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I'm not. I told you before. I can cook competition grade pork, chicken, ribs, and I can do brisket. Okay, I'm not a world champ. No, I'm no Heath Riles, but
right.
But those look good. You did a good job.
I appreciate it. I think I could have gone a little longer on them. Then they would have been, you could shake them and they'll be wanting to release. But it was still a clean, easy bite, which is honestly, I found that's really a lot of what people want. It doesn't, especially for your backyard. What I'm saying, the people that want to come enjoy your food and just spend time with you. If it's easy to eat, then that's really what matters. If it's easy to eat and it tastes good, that's what matters. Did you have fun cooking it? Did you learn a little bit along the way? Because I know me personally, my biggest thing is just keeping that stick burner, that offset. I want to keep it burning, at a generally steady temp, for as long as I can. And that is it. Even me, I've been on it for a couple of years now. I still have my issues with it from time to time. I leave it alone too long, and then I'm trying to build it back up, and I'm sitting there on a cold smoke for a while, and then all of a sudden now panic time, stuff it in there, and all of a sudden now he's got a blaze. That thermometer is maxed out. And it's like, whoa.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, especially on the backyard, any day that you can say that you didn't burn your patio down, that's a good day in my book.
That's right. Yep. I keep
good food.
I keep a fire extinguisher handy.
Hey, look here, man,
in the kitchen. I keep one right there in the kitchen. Actually, I got to double check to see if it's expired or not.
Oof.
Speaking of, let's
see what we got.
Some heat. Let's check this out. Yeah.
And again, this isn't normally my go-to. With an 83 proof, it's not generally.
But I think it's a good example for us in this page, this channel that we're starting here. We're easing into it.
Yeah.
So something with a little lighter proof, we're gonna ease into it. We're gonna get it worked out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's nice.
It is.
That's nice.
It's bright. It's got a real pleasant heat on the back end.
Yeah. It's not gonna raise your temperature too much. But,
no,
it'll be good.
It's definitely approachable, but I think it'll hold its own. It'll stand up.
Yeah.
To a lot of cigars. So I chose to go medium to full with these cigars, but honestly, you could probably still go full with this and it won't disappear in the smoke. So,
and honestly, that's my go-to. I'm a full flavor cigars smoker. So.
Absolutely.
And the more that I drink, the higher the proof that I got. And just for instance, I bought a bottle a couple years ago that was 121 proof. And for the longest, I couldn't even drink it. So everybody had given me options, like saying this is good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I finally bought it, but that stuff, it smelled like carb cleaner when I opened the bottle.
Yeah,
I was like, I can't drink this. But a couple weeks ago, I actually cracked it back open, and that's a good bottle. It's a good bottle.
Okay. Yeah, I think expanding your palate, taking your time to approach it the right way is also going to help out. And just like with cigars, there's so many variables behind. There's so many variables as far as affecting your taste and your experience with something, especially with how you feel that day, what kind of meal did you have. Like there's certain cigars like, hey, after I get before I smoke it, I want a big old steak dinner before I smoke it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And there are others that might lend themselves to a light hors d'oeuvre before that, something that especially for those guys that want their light Connecticut in the morning with a coffee. They're probably going to want something a little more easy on the palate before they start off. That way they feel like it's something for the occasion. So,
and I'll tell you, I got serious about cigars when I turned my 25th birthday. That was the only thing I wanted to do that year for my birthday. I didn't care about a party. So I got my truck. I drove to what at the time was there's the only cigar shop I knew, which was in the mall in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I went in there. There's an old gentleman there. I said, hey, all right, this is what I want. I know about mild, medium, and full flavor cigars, full body cigars. He said, okay. It's like, well, let me get you one of each. And he did. So I went home. I went outside on my patio. I smoked the mild. That was great. I was like, okay, that's about that. I ate some breakfast, and then about noon, about 12:30, 1 o'clock, I went outside and I smoked the medium. Said, okay, cool. That feels great. This is cool stuff. And then later that night, we had some friends over, and I smoked the full flavor cigar. But I'm gonna tell you, that was an experience. I tell you that. So
you went for a ride.
I could have plucked a bird out of a tree. I got so sick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That next day, I was like, I'm not letting this beat me. The next day, I went back and I was like, look, I need to know what happened. Mm-hmm. He said, you can't smoke all that on the set for the first time smoking cigars.
Yeah.
And
you jumped off the deep end with that one. But you know what?
15 years later,
exactly.
Here we are.
The fact is, you had enough of an interest and passion in it that you were able to look at it objectively as well. It's not like, oh, this cigar sucks and I don't want to do it again because it just kicked my ass. It's more of, hey, I think maybe since I'm just starting off, maybe I did something wrong.
What did I do wrong?
Let's figure it out. Yeah. I'll tell you, so I was always interested in cigars as a kid growing up. My favorite, action heroes and comic book characters always, had cigars, whether that was, your Rambos and your
Arnie,
Schwarzenegger, or your Wolverine, especially.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Always had a cigar, and I was like, the cool guys have cigars.
Yeah.
It looks like it's something to enjoy, something cool, and then this was actually at 19, shortly after getting out of basic training and everything with the National Guard. I always thought, something to enjoy, and I wanted to celebrate that I just graduated. So
yeah, no joke.
Yeah, so I ended up first doing my research. I was like, why not? Because nobody else that I knew of in my family had ever smoked cigars. Never. The only time I'd even really seen a cigar was when my father got out of the Navy. He was reserves, and he did his initial contract, and that was really it. But they sent him off with some cigars, and they gave him, I want to say, some Ashton Connecticut's, your standard Ashton Connecticut's. And actually, that was my first cigar, because he wasn't going to touch them. He wasn't going to smoke them. I was in 11th grade, and so actually, that was my first one. Not even.
I bet that was crispy being in that drawer.
Yeah, it was in the kitchen drawer. It was in the kitchen drawer, and I pulled it out. lit it up, didn't know what I was doing.
It's supposed to catch fire like that.
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't any kind of experience at all to be had, really. Not at all. It wasn't enjoyable. I didn't know what I was doing. But either way, I was like, I might revisit this later, which I did. So I said to myself, I remembered screwing all that up. So I said, I'm gonna do some research. So I went on YouTube, how to smoke a cigar, literally.
Yeah.
You can find anything on YouTube these days. And so I went to, found Brian Glenn's page, Cigar Obsession, on YouTube.
Okay.
And Cigar Obsession he had a great instructional video. I think it's still up there. He had a great instructional video on, one of the best ways to approach it. And so that's what I did. He talked about, the flavor profiles, the strength profiles on everything. He talked about the proper cutting technique versus if you're going, like the different types of cuts that you have, the cutting technique, and then went over, how to light it properly so that way you have the best experience. But what I also like that he said is that there are no rules. There's 1,000 ways to enjoy something, to experience something. But I do like that he was still saying these are my best guidelines for how to enjoy it and get the maximum satisfaction from it, which I think has served me well over the time. So after that, I went to Town Center and I asked them for, cigars. I said I was here to check one out. I was, like I said, brand new, 19 years old. The gentleman that was working the counter at the time walked me in there, and I already knew which one I think I wanted because it was what he showed how to smoke, what Brian Glenn showed how to smoke. It was a Arturo Fuente, Connecticut Chateau Fuente in the Robusto size. And so it was a nice, very mild, easygoing cigar, but it was a great introduction for me. I followed Brian Glenn's kind of instruction on how many times to puff it per minute and everything. And, from there, I just started coming back a lot. I started being in there, once a week versus now a couple to a few times a week. And eventually it was about daily I was in there.
Well, that's actually how we met.
Yep. Exactly.
We were old school years and years ago. What is that? 2010, 2011, something like that.
2012.
2012.
It was 2012. Mm-hmm. It was, close. It was 2012. I only remember that because that's when I graduated out of my basic and everything.
Oh yeah, well.
It was 2012, and came in there and we linked up and was like, hey, cool, man, good to see you. And that's the one thing about these hobbies that we have. Is how quickly you can become friends over something, regardless of the background that you have, how quickly you can form a bond and a relationship with those that are in the shop,
And ultimately, that's what this channel, this podcast is about. It's taking a couple topics that a lot of people like, but ultimately, they're topics that bring people together. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's not about being a cigar snob. It's not about being a whatever. It's not about the collections. It's not about where you are in barbecues. It's not about having $50 million cars. It's about the community. And that's what this is about. This is about building community, building something that we can be part of, that people can be part of. And join and watch and talk, and later on I'm sure we'll do live feeds and things like that.
And when we do finally post all this, y'all chime in, maybe what do you want to see? What would you like to be talked about? Is there a particular bottle you'd like to see talked about and reviewed? Is there a cigar, or cars or barbecue? And like we said, this is by the people for the people.
That's
really is. Those who want to tap in and enjoy this, that's what it's for. And so speaking of, since that's what the channel is supposed to be about, what are your thoughts on the pairing so far?
In terms of the pairing, I think it's fantastic.
Okay.
With the light, like you said, the very approachable bourbon. It's got the caramel notes. It doesn't have the kick, not necessarily that I like, but it's a very very approachable. Anybody can drink this.
Anybody, absolutely.
And I think it's kind of a nod to the 4th of July, which you'll be seeing this then.
Yeah, I think we'll bring it back out definitely for that.
Yeah, absolutely. With it being the Whistle Pig Declaration.
Yes.
But yeah, I think this is a fantastic pairing. They go hand in hand, you know. I don't know that I could have chosen anything better, man. Well done.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. And just to give you a little background on me as well, besides how we got into the whole cigar thing, in the whiskey thing, as my passion for cigars in the community grew, I actually started working at the same cigar lounge that I first came into. I was there for about 2.5 years, loved it, you know, tried to learn what I could, you know, and I'm gonna keep learning more as well, because there's just so much to know about these and so much to learn, and you never fully learn it all, but it's always just a fun experience with that. So, you know, and also now, since moved on and I'm not working at a lounge anymore, I am still connected with that world, and not just from my friends, but I decided to be a brand ambassador for a local shop here in town as well.
Okay.
It's actually the lounge that I got all of our cigars from today. All the Alec Bradley, the Roma Craft, the My Father Cigars, that'd be Filthy Palate. Definitely have to give a shout out to them.
That's a great place, man.
Oh yeah.
That's a super cool place.
Yeah, love coming there. The owners have been nothing but supportive of when I, you know, do things for them, and then they always are willing to work with me, and also just really show love to the customer base in general. It's definitely more of a family feel here with that, and I can't give them enough love, enough of a shout out. Andy, Trey, y'all are awesome. Keep doing what you do. Now, what about you? What about yourself? Let's see.
Well,
what are you tied to?
I've got a deep root ultimately in all 4 of these topics. In terms of barbecue, I'm a certified master judge with the Southern Barbecue Network, which is a charitable organization that they only sanction competitions that are attached to a charity.
Awesome.
Which is all nothing but about giving back. So it's not about, you know, making a whole bunch of money and doing all this other stuff. And everything is volunteer. So like they do a fantastic job. They're always happy to be there. We have over 250 members, and we're growing.
That's awesome.
I've been doing that since 2017. So
okay.
In terms of bourbon, I've been kind of a connoisseur since 17. Whenever we started, since I started traveling with the SBN, wherever I would go, I'd buy a bottle at whatever competition that I would be in, just to kind of support, you know, small local liquor stores and things like that. Which actually, if you're ever around the Buc-ee's area in Florence, stop into Mickey Finn's and talk to Jason.
Mickey Finn.
Fantastic guy. He is. If you need recommendations for anything, if you are looking for something, if you want somebody to talk to, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it with a smile. One of the greatest guys on the planet. If you ever go up there, tell him Rhino sent you. We'll see what happens. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but we're going to try.
Right. Yeah. And I would say, so obviously, I think I know your answer, but would you say definitely bourbon and barbecue goes hand in hand?
Hand down. There's actually many times that you'll get a competition barbecue with bourbon infused sauces and things like that. Mm-hmm. And it really brings out the flavor. It adds a certain spice level and kick to everything. And it's a great hand in hand thing. Yeah. So I 100% goes hand in hand. It works.
Well, I love that. Yeah. And I would say cigars are about right there as well, simply for the fact that cigars, just like bourbon, just like barbecue, whiskey, you know, and cars, anything like that, takes time, is made by hand. There's passion behind it,
and that's the big thing.
And there's a real depth to it. You can really dive in and go really deep when it comes to the construction of something, how something's made, how something's tailored to the taste buds or the senses, how you feel about something. Like with cigars, you got your milds, you got your mediums, you got your full body, everything in between. Yeah. The region that the tobacco is sourced from, how long they let something age, or anything like that. There's so much like that. There's so much that it's involved with making the final product, just like barbecue, especially because
bourbon.
Yeah, because you can't rush it. I'll tell you that. Especially if you got something, there's a difference between grilling and smoking and barbecue.
Yeah.
There's a difference between grilling and barbecue, and I think they both require,
when you keep your eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. they both require time and attention and stuff like that. But it's a different approach to everything, and I will definitely say, the love and passion in something makes all the difference in the world.
100%. And it's that portion of these different areas, these pillars that this podcast, this channel is founded on. Is the craftsmanship, what goes into it, and it's like I said before, the community that people can come together and be like, hey, I can say something, and I'm not gonna have somebody chew my head off because, like before, I used a big lighter to light the cigar.
Man, I've sat there and I've gotten creative with lighting a cigar before. I really have. So there's no shame to be had there, no ego there. Now I will say, if it's something I'm trying for the first time, if it's something that's pretty limited, I'm gonna try to treat it with all the respect that I would like to have. That way I can make the most of that moment. But at the same time, one of the things I tell people is this: get it lit and get it lit properly. If you get a good even light, and then smoking it properly, even if it wasn't with an ideal source, it's probably still going to turn out all right.
Look, I'm still not allowed to be close to my mama's stove with a cigar. Let's just leave it at that. There's still one of the burners that's still in right because try to do some things and.
Hey, it is. You know what? it is what it is. Like I said, we don't judge here on that.
That's right. And in terms of the cigars, I was actually working at a cigar shop for quite a while. I became a retail tobacconist in 2015. And yeah, that's kind of, when we met, I just moved back to Charleston. I am 100% Charlestonian, born and raised.
Same.
And just had a venture to go retrieve my wife in Hickory, North Carolina. And so we spent a couple years up there, and then we moved back home.
Nothing wrong with being well traveled.
That's right. That's right.
I'm born and raised here myself. I wasn't raised in the city of Charleston, but I was raised quite close. I was born at MUSC. So,
Yep.
But Johns Island was where. Yeah, there you go. Johns Island was where I called home initially as a youngin. Definitely loved it out there, and still got a lot of family living out there.
All right, yeah.
And but my wife, shout out to her. She's an absolutely amazing woman, Ashley. She is purebred downtown, born and raised. Family still has heirs property out there and everything.
Sure.
So shout out to them. Shout out to her whole family. It's always.
What got you into cars? That's a good question.
My father.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my father got me into cars. So I'll say growing up, never had the dream car in the driveway or anything. But there were a couple of vehicles that did stick out to me that I definitely really enjoyed and fell in love with. And there's certain things I've only got very brief snatches of memory from as a child. But my father had an AMC.
Okay.
Man. And I don't want to lie to you on the exact model of AMC it was. But it had an AMC. And the memory I had in my head was it was a real sporty car.
Okay.
Always liked riding in that as a kid. But then he had a hard body single cab.
Okay.
Which those have been making a hell of a resurgence.
Oh yeah.
Those have been going crazy because there's just so much potential with what you can do with them. Whether or not you want to lift them, slam them, bag them, drift them, drag them. You can do any and everything with them. And then after that, he got the second gen Dodge Ram.
Okay.
Gasser. He had a 1500.
Nice.
And that put me really in that headspace of, this is just a beautiful truck. It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
We love that exhaust note. I think it was he had some shorty headers on there.
Right.
And he did something with the exhaust, and man,
has nothing to do with why you got your truck today, huh?
Right. Not a thing. Not a thing. And it's funny though because that truck eventually actually got passed down to me.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I will say that even as a beat up, 1999, the paint job, unfortunately, because he'd gotten into a wreck with it, actually, some kid ran the light and smashed into it, but they were able to get it repaired. But of course, a lot of times with insurance, how it goes, the place that did the paint job did not do a fantastic job with that. So of course, over time, the clear coat went back to being, real faded out, and the paint job looked ashy, for better words. It was a black on black truck.
Okay.
It was actually the sport model. It was a black on black truck, but that paint job just started looking ashy over the years. But even still, as an ashy truck, the fact is that it was just all black on black. It just looked good with the chrome wheels. And I think they were 16s. It was nothing huge, nothing big. It was a stock 16-inch wheel, black on black truck, but with a good exhaust note, tinted windows. And even though the dash was falling apart because those second gens are just known for having, dashes that you sneeze in there, something's gonna fall off.
Yeah. But
even with all that, there were still people offering to buy that truck because they loved the way it looked, they loved the way it sounded, and that's just, it was something we really enjoyed, really fell in love with, and I had to kind of keep with that same family of stuff. So I've got a 4th gen Ram right now, 1500, and I love that thing to death. So,
so 100%. My dad, I got into cars because of my dad. Before my time, my mom and my dad had the same car. They both had a Chevelle.
ooh,
They both had a Chevelle when they met. And which is weird because here I come. I'll be honest, I'm a Ford guy. Always have been. I don't know, I've had a lot of other cars. I had a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. I've had my favorite car though on the planet is the Thunderbird. It's a very unsung hero situation. I actually road tripped that thing to Vegas and back.
Ooh.
A 96 T-Bird, and all I had was a thermostat and a gasket. I didn't have a spare tire. I don't know how I made it. But actually, and the funny story, we ended up having to I ended up changing the thermostat and gasket out. The only part that I took, and at a Buc-ee's in Alabama, and we road tripped the rest of the way and drove it home. That's I'm glad I made it through that one. I didn't know it was dicey at times.
Man, so I'll tell you. So my first actual vehicle though was a 1997 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo.
Okay, yeah.
And actually, funny enough, it was actually the same Magnum engine in it that my dad's black truck had. So it was the 5.2 Magnum.
Oh yeah.
Not the 5.9. It was the 5.2 Magnum.
Yeah,
318. And so that thing would get up the road, it was lighter weight than the truck was. So, you put your foot to it, it's gonna go.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
I absolutely love that. And I honestly, even still to this day, it was one of the most comfortable rides I had. Even being very beat up, it was literally a car that was given to me. The couple that I used to dog sit for this couple. And they were looking to get rid of it. They didn't want it anymore. It was old. It had some age on it. And they finally said, you know what? he's been awesome. We appreciate everything he did, looking after the dogs, you know, and he's always been a cool guy, respectful kid. So, you know what, we don't need any more, you know, and they passed it on down.
Very
you know,
cool.
thing didn't even have a front drive shaft.
Well,
Didn't have front drive shaft, the front axles, just rear wheel drive, even though it was supposed to be a 4x4. And
look at that's tire smoke right there, buddy.
yeah, absolutely.
That's tire smoke.
Absolutely. I would roast them all the time. Matter of fact, that was my first time. That was my first pullover.
Right.
Was that my girlfriend at the time from high school? We were leaving school, and I wanted to show off. We were at a red light. And as soon as that light turned green, I punched it, and it was right there. Actually, right there in North Charleston, leaving from Montague. Right there in Montague.
Okay, yeah,
North Charleston, and I absolutely stomped on it. And you know, I didn't actually break the speed limit.
right,
You know what I'm saying? I just whooped and took off a little bit, but I stayed under 45.
right.
But cop right there saw that, and he was like, nah. Woo, lit me
Yeah.
up. So I pulled over, and he tried to press me real good. I think he knew because he's a young kid. He's 17, 18 years old. He pressed me, you know, gave me the stern talking to, said he could get me from said he could get me for an unsafe start from stop.
No, man, my best, like,
But I got a warning. I got out with a warning, but
the best ticket I ever got was a display of horsepower. That's what the ticket said. That's
something to hang your hat on.
I
right
hung
there.
it on my board. My dad didn't like it so much, but I kept that thing for a long time. I don't know whatever happened
Display
to it.
of horsepower.
Display of horsepower. And the guy signed it. I was like, "Can I sign it now? You me take a picture with it? How you want to do this?"
Oh man, yeah, I love it. But he was telling me, he's like, that could be $1,000 ticket. Of course, I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, $1,000 ticket. I'm not ever gonna get a car again at this point. You know, I can't pay that. But he let me off with a warning. You know, my girlfriend saw the whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
and her mom was actually with her, so they witnessed the whole thing because they pulled over to make sure I was all right. They were like, oh, what happened now? You
Yeah.
know, and so of course after all that, all's well that ends well, thankfully. But man, I was sweating bullets on that one. I was like, man, $1,000 ticket. I don't want to explain this to my parents.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah, don't go showing off.
Yeah. At least, yeah. I can't tell you to do it anyway.
Yeah, you can't say don't do do anything I wouldn't do because it might get you into a lot of
You
stuff.
might get in trouble.
Yeah.
But
So how's the cigar going for you so far?
this cigar is fantastic.
So this is your first go around with this one. I know you've had My Father cigar products before, but so this is your first go around with the H2K CT.
That's tasty, man.
It really is.
good
I remember when they
stuff.
first came out with this, when they first dropped this, it was a hit at the shop. You know, I was always trying to put people onto this, especially, you know, if you're a full-bodied person, this won't leave you bored at all. You're still gonna enjoy the smoke, and especially on the retro hair, you're gonna get that pepper, you know, that you're gonna want out of like a My Father blend. Because My
Right.
Father does, I'd say the majority of their portfolio is gonna be medium to full.
Right.
Or just straight full. Just depends
Yeah.
on what you're looking for. But this one crosses that bridge between, you know, the mediums, the more mild mediums to the fulls. It really does a good job of that.
So that's a good stick, man. That's
And like I said, it's got a bit of brightness to it. I'd say almost a tad bit of citrus,
yeah.
and definitely a good general spice that kind of lingers on the palate.
It's definitely got a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of kick, yeah.
But I mean, that's what the Garcias are known for. Like Don Pepin and Jamie Garcia, they're known for that. You know, they're, you know, as far as, you know, whether or not you want to go with the Don Pepin blue label, or you want to go with the
I had one of those not too long ago. Yeah.
the blue label. That's the original blue label. Now they just came out with that Don Pepin blue with that lighter blue as well.
Right.
And they've got mixed reviews, but I'd say for the most part, it's been generally positive on that.
Right.
And it's been enjoyable. One I just recently had was their Cuban Classic, which is, I say, a fantastic, mostly medium, but sometimes full cigar.
Right.
That is so full of flavor. The Cuban Classic is awesome. And actually, my favorite Vitola in that, Vitola, if people aren't aware, is Vitola's size. Going to be like the length and width of the cigar and also the shape of the cigar. That's Vitola. My favorite is the 6x60.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people, being, especially if they're in like the professional side of things, those who do reviews and tastings, a lot of people will say the best thing you can do is get a Corona or Corona Gorda to do a tasting on. But I'll tell you, I've had a few different sizes in that Cuban Classic, and for me, the 6x60 in that always shines the best in that particular cigar.
I'll be honest, man, and I don't know, it's just my go-to nowadays is the CAO Flathead, the 770. I mean, that's an Arnie cigar all day long.
Oh yeah,
it lasts a while. It's got good flavor all the way through. It doesn't matter what third you're at. It's gonna give you a little kick to it, and it's full flavor, full bodied.
Yeah.
And be careful about just smoking those things on an empty stomach. I tell you that much.
But yeah, but I say please don't hurt yourself.
Don't hurt yourself.
But I will say, I think the reason that one does so well is because, once again, I think they blended that specifically to be a large cigar.
Yes.
Because that's another reason why a lot of people say that the Corona is going to be one of your best sizes to have a cigar. It's going to be the most true example of the way that cigar is supposed to taste, because normally that's the size that they blend from. And I think that comes back to all the old world blenders from way back in the day, from just tradition and everything like that. The size that they like to blend from and choose the ratios of their leaves was in that Corona size, which is why a lot of times you'll find that a lot of cigars really shine in that size. But I think a lot of companies these days are starting to say, hey, people like cigars of all sizes, so why not, when we make a cigar, especially in a certain size, why not really blend it to where we make the ratios tailored specifically for that size. That way, when something, because when you adjust something to make it a certain size, there's gonna be some trade-offs,
right?
In whether the flavor or the intensity or the duration of the burn and everything like that. So I would definitely say that's a big thing to take into account. And I think they're starting to really do that a lot with certain companies, like the CAO Flathead 770s, that big block, or the Asylums.
The Asylums, yeah.
I think Asylum, with their 6x60, their 7x70, their 8x80, their 6x80, the 9x90.
9x90.
Because a lot of times back in the day, cigars that were that large were more of a joke, or very, very rare. They were a novelty.
I think it was like smoking a branch. Looking like a dog that found a big stick.
But I think nowadays, because they're starting to really tailor their approach around that, they're making a good cigar even at that size,
which was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, consistently. Because a lot of times way back when someone would release something like that, it was more of we're just throwing it out there, we're gonna check it out, see what they say, but no big deal. This is more of almost like an advertisement for us, versus a real deal, go-to pick. And I'll say one that I can really attest to as being great was the 6x80 Asylum. Is about my favorite. It's about my favorite large cigar. That 6x80 Asylum, man, the flavor is great. You don't see them often, but you more often see the 770s a lot. But that 6x80, man, it's fantastic.
The Ogre's really nice too, with the Candela wrapper.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff. But well, I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
But I want to take a second, and this is going to come out. You guys are going to see this on the 4th of July. That's when this is going to drop. We told you it would, and here it is. But first and foremost, I want to give kind of a nod to the military. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Without what you guys have done, like, we can't be here doing what we're doing. We can't even. It doesn't matter about your opinion. The fact that you can wake up and have those opinions kind of a thing because of that, because of what they've given.
Absolutely. Yep, I do agree. I think, there's a lot of different conversations and thoughts going on, and it's a very polarizing time just in the country and in the whole world in general. But I will say that, thanks to, brave men and women that want to go out, and make sure that we don't have, invaders come and really try to formulate and put their own way of doing things on us here.
Right. That
we can at least have, you've got the ability to make the change that you want to see here. If you don't like the way things are happening, or if you want to have, just good talks between each other to really figure things out, So I would say definitely thank you, absolutely to the men and women of this country. Thank you, and happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America, man.
The big 250.
250.
We're young and we bumble a lot of crap, but we're figuring it out. We're always going to keep figuring it out. And so we appreciate having y'all here with us and just being able to chat with us, over things we love, things that hopefully can bring us all together about stuff.
That's the big thing. Trying to find, this channel is here to create a community that we can all come and hang out. We can all be together. And that's right now, especially nowadays, as divided as things are, we need that more than anything.
More than ever. Absolutely.
Whether it be barbecue, bourbon, cigars, or cars, it's the community and the communication and it's the talks and everything behind it all. That's the important part, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, I had a blast.
Yeah, Rhino. Absolutely.
And
same to you.
We on to the next one.
Absolutely, on to the next one. So we're gonna say, hey, we will catch y'all on the next one. We will definitely put out announcements for when to expect that.
Because we got a lot coming on, a lot going on.
Yes, we do. And we'll take all the feedback. We know that this is definitely a rough draft, but we got to jump in and get it started. So we'll take the feedback, but we also appreciate your support.
And definitely, if you get a chance, if you like what we're doing, like and subscribe.
Leave a comment.
Check us out. Yeah, tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you want to hear. What reviews? What kind of cars? Whatever. We'll see what we can do. And definitely, if you want to come by and hang out with us, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
oh yeah. We love to chat, chop it up. Maybe even have you on as a guest.
That's right.
Let's add some. Let's get everybody in on this thing.
Michael, it was an absolute pleasure to be here tonight with you, man.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can say is, welcome to the table. Peace.